Yep, yep, back again. I have a few things I want to talk about upcoming, but this thing I want to talk about first because it's something I just picked up, and it's religious groups want to build McDonald's in a church. As church attendance falls, one group believes that the lure of a burger and fries may make church more appealing. McMahon's project, which is the brainchild of Paul DeLuca, a creative director at the church branding agency. Church branding agency. What the fuck is that? It is raising funds to put a McDonald's franchise inside a place of worship. Christianity, quote, this is what he says. Christianity is unable to capture modern audiences, he told NBC News. There is a lack of innovation and lack of design thinking in church communities. End quote. The multi-denominational group has launched a campaign on the crowdfunding site Indiegogo and hopes to raise $1 million to build the first McDonald's church. As of Friday, only $104 has been raised. The group says that the money will go towards purchasing a franchise and construction. The group is currently looking for a church to partner with. Quote, it's time for churches to engage with entrepreneurship, writes the group on its Indiegogo site. By combining a church and a McDonald's, we can create a self-sustaining, community-engaged, popular church and an unparalleled McDonald's restaurant. The site states that 3 million people leave the faith every year and that 10,000 churches closed down in 2013, while 70 million people eat McDonald's every day. To attract potential donors, the group is offering t-shirts, hats, and vinyl stickers, quote, like to adorn your laptop, hymn book, and more. DeLuca believes that fast food is one way to build faith in the modern era, but concedes that not everyone will be wild about the idea. Let's finish this quote. We are aware a lot of people will think this is an insane idea. Yes, it's an insane idea. I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church, but for people who genuinely go to church, this is an insult to worship because you're basically eliminating God and Jesus out of the equation. Because if you say people leave the church every year, as your stats show, if people leave the church, 3 million people have left the church annually in a year's time, and 70 million people eat McDonald's, you think that just because people eat McDonald's, somehow they would want to go to church? What are they going to church for if not God and Jesus? You can't convince someone to go to church with a Big Mac and fries. What are you doing? If they left the church for, I would tend to think, a religious reason, they may have lost faith. They have, studied the Bible, and they feel that it doesn't coexist in their beliefs, so they leave the church. You're saying, well, if we offer McDonald's to you, if you can get you a quarter pounder with cheese, some french fries, and a Coke, that you would have more faith. This is just, this is unfathomable. I can't even understand how this is possible. How did someone come up with this idea? Now, someone would say, well, it's not as bad as it seems. It's not as if we're saying you will go to church because McDonald's is in church. This is just an addition to the members of the congregation to enjoy good food, is junk food. And see, that's the thing about it. If you were going to put something in a church as far as food or a restaurant, why didn't you put a Subway? At least they are known for at least trying to eat healthy. Why would you put a McDonald's in a church? That doesn't even make sense. Do you think, in actuality, I know this kind of this kind of sides with their crazy logic, but you could say that if you were to offer a Subway, people may look at church differently and say, well, I want to go to church. Now, the problem with that is, I guess that's what he's saying. The society doesn't value church in its essence, and if we add a McDonald's, people would want to go to church. But what I was saying is if it's genuine, it's a genuine concern about people leaving the church, first of all, you should come up with solutions to that problem before you go to a junk food restaurant to try to lure people back into the church. That's the first thing. Second, if it's something on the lines of perhaps food, appetite, I don't know. I mean, because they serve dinners at churches already anyway. They have banquets, they serve dinner at churches already. It's not as if they don't have food, so you can't say, well, they're sitting in church and they're hungry. And I don't know what the logic is behind putting a McDonald's in the church. I guess it's the generation. It's people who like junk food and they're addicted to junk food. Somehow I don't know. It's flatline. At least you could look at this. You could put a churches in a church. At least it's catchy. At least it has a ring to it. Wow, there's a churches in a church. Wow, they're pretty clever. They put a churches in a church. That's quite clever. In some harmless perspective, you say, wow, that's quite cool of the church to give that some benefit of the doubt. But you putting a McDonald's in a church. It's freaking crack food, and you somehow this coincides with religion. Crack food coincides with religion. Last time I checked, the Christian is trying to live a life of purity. You don't bring some unclean product to them and then try to say you're holy and you're a Christian and you're pure and you're trying to be pure and you're trying to live your life right. This is actually a conspiracy. I think it's a conspiracy. I'll look deeper into this, but I just had to make this because this is just it's not even laughable. It gives you the frowny face. You're frowning your face up at it because it's like, what the hell is that? Why would you put a McDonald's in a church? Usually when there's a silly story, something, I just laugh it off. But this is beyond humor. It's not even funny. This is insane. He said it himself. DeLuca, the person that came up with this idea, said, I know people would think this was an insane idea. Yes, it's insane. It's an insane idea. Why would you do that? It's fucking unbelievable. This is just, I don't know. I can't even understand why they would do it. Because their logic is illogical. It doesn't make sense. You're saying that if we offer McDonald's, more people would come to church. Somehow, the key to having more people go to church and stay in church is fast food. This is their basis. I think they're smoking crack. They have to be under the influence of something. Or they are insane. Either they're smoking crack or they're insane. And if you ask me, I would have rather smoked crack and come up with some silly ass idea. Because if you're insane like that, look what you're doing. Oh, I was high. I came with an idea. It was just, some idea I had. You're insane.